Is it a rom-com? It sounds like a rom-com. Is it a rom-com? It's a rom-com, isn't it?
It's so a rom-com.
I don't think I saw it. Everybody, welcome to Literary Lushes with your hosts, Samantha
And Megan.
And today we're going to be talking about the book Heartless by Marissa Meyer.
I'm very excited. This was my choice, so if you read it and didn't like it, sorry. If you did, you're welcome.
So we're trying to be better about doing like a 60-second recap for those of you who didn't read it, didn't finish it, or read it a while ago and kind of forget. So bird's eye view, it is the backstory of how the Queen of Hearts became the heartless bitch that she is.
Yes, from Alice in Wonderland.
From Alice in Wonderland, right. So the main character is a girl named
Catherine.
Kath
for short.
Which I don't like the fact that they called her Kath for short.
I'm not a huge fan of that either, but yes.
It's fine. And she was a delightful young lady who was destined by her parents to marry the bumbling king.
Who wasn't anything special. He was just a
old, sweaty man.
Short,
old, sweaty man.
Who was kind of
stupid.
Yeah.
And spineless.
Yep.
And bumbling.
And bumbling.
And sweaty. Did I mention sweaty? I feel like he's sweaty. I don't know if they actually mentioned in the book, but
it just seems right.
But then fate had other ideas and
she also, before this, she didn't dream of just being a queen or a lady. She actually wanted to own her own bakery. She loved baking and everything about it. And her and one of her lady maids, servants, not sure what she called her. Anyways.
Handmaid? No.
Okay. Yeah.
Not chambermaid.
They thought of going into business together. Her friend Marianne would run the books and Kath would do the baking.
Right. And then she meets her love interest, Just.
Yes.
Who is actually from a faraway land where he is like the equivalent of a knight and he's undercover here to try to get something that will save his land from endless war and turmoil. And his undercover identity is the court jester.
Yep. They
fall in love. We get to meet all the big characters from Alice in Wonderland. So the Hatter and the Hare.
The White Rabbit.
The White Rabbit. All of the King's Guards, who are all like the cards.
The croquette flamingos.
The croquette flamingos and hedgehogs. Yeah. And spoiler alert, she goes through heartbreak and decides she doesn't need her heart anymore and off with his head. And
yeah.
That's that.
And the drink that we made was the Queen of Hearts cocktail, which had rose liqueur, vodka, and raspberry syrup.
With lemon juice.
Mm-hmm. And we actually garnished it with a white rose petal.
Because we are dainty ladies. Before we get any further, though, we wanted to give a shout out to our wonderful patrons. Without you, we would still do this, but it would just be a bigger disaster than it currently is.
It would make it very difficult to be able to do all the things we want to do, like have cool backgrounds and props and stuff to go along with the drink videos, and then actual working equipment for making drinks, such as shakers and ice buckets and, stepping it up a little bit.
And to be able to make fancy drinks and afford to buy, for example, 750 milliliters of rose liqueur.
Yeah.
That
helps.
For instance.
Because I definitely don't have that on hand.
No. And now we will have it forevermore because I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but whatever. So we want to give a shout out to our patrons, starting with our newest patron, which we both fangirled so hard when we saw this come through.
Yes.
Thank you, Angela Roquette, who is the author of the Lana Harvey series. We covered the first book of the Lana Harvey series, The Graveyard Shift, in our last episode that went up January 23rd. And she saw it, heard it, I'm assuming liked us.
She seemed to like it. I was very fangirly, like you said, when she commented and was like, oh, this is cute and fun and, all that other stuff. And I'm probably horribly paraphrasing. Sorry, Angela. But we did squeal a little bit and get excited and was like, oh, yay.
Yeah, I got so excited. I dropped my phone immediately when I saw the alert. My whole body went into shock. So thank you so much. It means a world to us. And then also thank you to my mother, Linda.
And Julie.
And my boyfriend, Mike.
And my husband, Ray.
Thank you guys. Without you, again, this would be a complete disaster.
So thank you for your love, support, and money.
Yes. And if you guys are interested in becoming a patron, you can sign up on patreon.com. We have a variety of donation levels from $2 a month all the way up to $20 a month. And you get benefits with, each tier. And we do patrons only exclusive. So we posted our gift exchange video for Christmas. For Valentine's Day, we're going to be posting a video of us really awkwardly trying to be sexy and feed each other chocolates. And it just totally backfired.
It was great. I don't know what you're talking about. I was so graceful.
We're going to be doing a really awkward workout video. We're going to be doing a birthday gift exchange video. And those, again, are going to be patron-only exclusives. And we're trying to get creative on exclusive content for you guys, which includes uncut episodes, blooper reels, drink recipes, all the fun stuff. But enough about tooting our own horn and trying to guilt trip you guys into loving us.
So the reason why I love this book so much, it's the whole backstory on a villain.
Mm-hmm. I do like a good backstory myself.
And then I will have to fess up, when I first read it and I loved it. And then when I kept telling everybody, like, it's a great book, you should read it. And a lot of people love her other series, the Lunar Chronicles series, like with Cinder and
I was going to say
that.
Lunar Eclipse, and I was like, that's definitely not
no,
right.
That's Twilight. But I was worried that I loved this book and I had made it up that I loved it. Like, I've done that with a book or two before, where I was like, this is such a great book. And then I went back and reread it, and I was like,
this is trash. Yeah, I've done that before too.
So when I recommended it and you were going to read it, I was like, oh my God, this is going to suck. And she's going to be so pissed. I was like, so then I started reading it, and then I got real excited while I was reading it. I'm like, nope, this is as good as I remember it. And just like Julie with Where the Crawdad Sings, it's not going to hit everybody the same way, but for me, it was just, I liked it a lot. Everybody is curious to see the softer side of villains.
Or just why they are the way they are.
Because you don't just become evil.
Right, it makes them complicated characters. They're not just like one-dimensional evil. There's a reason for it. So like I said, I do like a good backstory. I love Wonderland and Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass and all of that. And basically every Alice in Wonderland movie that's ever come out that I'm aware of, I've always enjoyed. So I liked it from that perspective. Some of the romancy bits, I'm like, okay. But
and the girl was like,
but as a whole, I liked it. I also felt for Kath where she had her own vision in mind for what she wanted her life to look like, and her parents had a completely different idea, and it wasn't even like up to her to do anything different because she was their only daughter and had to follow in, not their footsteps, but what was expected of her. So I definitely felt that for her.
It broke my heart when she was like, she's like, I can't say it. How am I going to say yes to the king? Like, there's no way I can say yes to him. There's no way. Like, she's going on this whole mad thing, like in her head, like, I can't imagine saying yes. And then at the end, she like deflates and it's like, but I can't imagine saying no either. Like, she's like realized, like, as much as she can't imagine saying yes, she can't imagine saying no even more, just because she knows.
Right, he's the king. You can't say no.
And with her mom, like,
yeah,
I think her mom would have killed her.
Probably. I also like that you get the backstory of some of the other characters, like the Hatter.
The Mad Hatter. And then how he says,
mad.
He's like, well, you guys need a new proper Hatter. You haven't had one in a while. She's like, yeah, we had one. But then he went, and then she like looked at him and he's like, you can say it, mad. And he's like, well, haven't you heard the phrase, mad as a Hatter? And he's like, it happens. He's like, but I think I got the handle on it. And then when he slipped at the end, I was,
because time finally caught up with him.
It was very sad.
I know. But I always thought the Hatter was an interesting character, so it was cool to see how he became mad. And his riddle, that was never answered in the original
Right.
Alice in Wonderland
Which
books.
I don't know if it's in the back of the book where her acknowledgments or her whatever, and she talks about why she decided to write this book. She was actually sad that Lewis didn't actually write this. Like, she wanted to actually know why the Queen of Hearts was the way she was, and she was kind of like, and she was talking to somebody, and somebody's like, well, why don't you write why the Queen of Hearts is this way? And so she was like, oh, okay. Yeah. And then she also wrote about how she was shocked that there was never an answer to the riddle, and so she would keep finding all these different answers, and that's why she threw in all the different answers throughout the book.
Yeah, because he didn't put it in, but then, and the riddle is, why is a raven like a writing desk? And in the book, it's not, there's no answer in the book, but he went on later, I think, to write in what the response was. And then she was saying that, hold on, let me just grab the book because it's right here. Yeah, so Lewis Carroll did give a response in an 1896 edition of Alice in Wonderland. So the answer to the riddle, why is a raven like a writing desk? Because it can produce a few notes, though they are very flat, and is never put with the wrong end in front. And he spelled never raven spelled backwards.
Right.
And somebody thought that that was a typo and corrected it, but it was just a play on words from him, which I found like highly entertaining. But yeah, and then she included like her answer and somebody else's answer.
And yeah.
Which just goes to show you that riddles have more than one answer. So if you ever get
and Catherine was even like, oh, it never occurred to me that there could ever be more than one answer at the tea party. That was a disaster.
But what a fun tea party up until that point.
Right.
Yeah. What would you have done if you had to go to a tea party, and if you're sitting on the Hatter's right, you have to do something to entertain him? Right. Now, keep in mind that whatever hat you picked would help you in some way. So she picked the hat of unconventional decisions, and that led her to feed everybody the macaroons that she had in her pocket.
Right.
So keep in mind that you may pick a hat that would lead you down a path unknown.
I think I would have done some horrible stand-up comedy thing and assuming that I would pick up a hat that would help me actually sound funny.
Just with the hat of no shame.
Yeah. Sometimes I say funny things, not meaning to say funny things.
Same.
I don't know. Either that or, I don't know. What would you do?
Oh, good Lord. Maybe try dad jokes.
Those are my favorites.
Or like intentionally really bad dancing. Or like interpretive dance, because you could just be like, this is me interpreting anything, and you could do anything and it's not wrong.
Send us your answers of what you have done for your talent portion.
We're putting together a talent show. Maybe we could make that a Patreon. You could do your stand-up. I'll do my dad jokes, interpretive dance.
No, I would need a hat that had magical abilities that would make me be much funnier than I am. Much funnier.
I mean, people would pay to listen, so I don't know. So the riddle came straight from the original book. Mm-hmm. The answer was not in the Alice in Wonderland book. But the book Heartless did have some good quotes as well.
Oh, yes. I mean, there was one quote that they did take from the original.
There were a few. Right? Yeah.
And, of course, one of them I have on a necklace. It's like, sometimes I've believed in as many as 6 impossible things before breakfast. Mm-hmm. And I love that quote. It just seems very dream-like.
That was also one of my favorite quotes from the Alice in Wonderland book, so I was excited she included it. I also found it entertaining that the caterpillar, who was a cobbler, and then somehow just ends up like in the fucking woods, high as a kite all the time.
But it makes sense.
Makes sense. But when he's at the baking competition and he's like sucking on his pipe and he takes it out of his mouth and he's like, who are you?
Yeah.
I was like, I see what you're doing. I also like the joke about the hatta and the hair.
Yeah.
Which the way it was spelled in the book still didn't really fully make sense to me, but that's
this one, which is super cheesy, so I don't think you're going to like it.
Oh boy, lay it on me.
The easiest way to steal something is for it to be given willingly.
I mean, that's very true.
They were talking about like the heart.
The heart, yeah.
This one's a really good one. It is a dangerous thing to unbelieve something only because it frightens you.
Very true. So I also liked the raven and how the raven was very reminiscent of the Raven from Edgar Allan Poe, because I love me some Edgar Allan Poe.
And he was very moody.
And he was moody and brooding and nevermore and spoken rhyme. And his character did remind me of something that would come straight out of an Edgar Allan Poe
Which
poem.
I think is probably very
intentional.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think she even said it in her author's note that she drew an Edgar Allan Poe for him just because it was either fun or fitting. I also like that Peter.
I'm laughing. Your favorite characters are the ones that are brooding.
I like dark, fucked up shit, all right? I like a good, complicated character.
That's awesome.
A multifaceted character.
Sorry, you said you also liked...
Oh, I also liked that Peter Pumpkin Eater.
Yeah.
Was just randomly thrown in.
So random.
So I was like, when he popped up, I'm like, oh, cool. Maybe she's going to throw in like a bunch of nursing rhymes. Like maybe we'll see like
some of the others.
The lady who lives in a shoe and like Little Miss Muffet. Like, nope. But there was no other ones. Just Peter. Pumpkin Eater. Had a wife and couldn't keep her. Yeah. But that was cool though. How she tied like all of that in.
Yeah.
With the Jabberwock.
And making it fit too. Mm-hmm. Like not being kind of too askew, like, I feel like you reach in here.
Yeah, like it didn't seem too much of a stretch. I did like that. And I liked how that was like a loose common thread throughout the whole book. And it comes together at the end that Peter's pumpkins were tainted, but it's because they were from the Hatter, because the seeds were from Rook, and that his wife, for whatever fucking reason, only eats pumpkin. And
of course she does.
Because she's a basic bitch. I bet she gets pumpkin spice lattes and wears Ugg boots and leggings.
I was just imagining a fan drawing that. And yeah. Awesome.
And she turns into the Jabberwock, which was a twist that I was not expecting at first.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that. Because I was like, again, when I recommended it, I was like, oh, is she going to think this is stupid how it just turns into the... And I was kind of hoping it wouldn't be obvious.
I mean, the hints were there. When I was reading it, I was like, okay, he must be keeping it as a pet or something. Because there was like the big pumpkin cage that she heard something scratching.
Right.
And then like they found the piece of the lion's hat and the pumpkin patch. And Peter was just always a real curmudgeon. So it's like, he's hiding something.
Right. But you just didn't.
Yeah, and he wasn't from there. So I'm like, oh, he just has this weird pet that he can't control, and he tries to keep it hidden. That was kind of my thought. I didn't think that.
It's not completely wrong.
Not completely wrong. But my heart did break for the poor turtle.
Yes. Super heartbreaking.
And the mock turtle soup recipe was like really gross.
Yeah.
I would never make a recipe that would call for like boil until the meat separates from the bones and do this and do that. But I don't eat meat, so maybe I'm just biased in that opinion.
Just a little. But I don't think I boil meat. Well, I guess when I make tacos, like you put the meat and you bring it to a boil with the sauce and the water, and then once it comes to a boil, then you simmer it.
And like chicken, or if you're making or chicken soup, like a lot of soups.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, there's my thing. I probably use for because I just don't make soup.
Yeah. It is a mock turtle soup. So, just saying.
So, did you have a favorite part of the book?
I liked
or tolerable part of the book.
So I liked a lot of little moments in the book. So when she first meets Jest, like that can when you read something, you like it plays out in your mind, but then there's some scenes that are just like crystal clear.
Are you talking about the in the castle?
In the castle, when they're at the ball.
And he's coming from the ceiling. And
he's like slowly spinning through the air. And it's like that whole thing just like crystallized in my mind, like without me even having to think about it as I was like reading it. And I could just like visualize him like slowly, like maybe I've seen it in a movie or something,
very Mulan-esque.
Yes, like Moulin Rouge, I think was why, is like, everybody's in like black and white and masks, and he's like just twirling slowly in the air, and they like lock eyes. I love the tea party scene, obviously, because everything about that was just ludicrous until the Jabberwock, which was sad. But also the croquet and the badminton whole scene, that made me laugh. pretty good because
was a shrimp breath. And
ugh.
when they said that, I was like, and then she's like, if you do this for me, I will bring you shrimp next. And he's like, ooh, I like shrimp. She's like, I know. You can tell.
And I like what was it, the crossroads with all the doorways.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they were trying, and I like the three sisters, right? I like that creepy shit.
Right.
Shocker.
I figured that. I actually thought that's what you were going to say was your.
Yeah, I like them. Like the fucking, like Samara from The Ring.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like that. But I like that when they got back to the crossroads and it was like, pick a door, but if you go through the door, like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that scene with the riddle and like the answer to the riddle. So it was like, there was like those moments, but again, some of the romance stuff for me, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. And it was like, she kind of reminded, you watched Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Don't say Sansa.
No,
Okay.
I was going to say, she reminds me of Daenerys in a way.
Okay.
Where her whole life has been basically decided for her.
Uh-huh.
And she's going towards that goal, even if she doesn't necessarily want it. And no matter what she does, it like takes her one step closer to that goal. And then you can also see the darkness come through with her as the story progresses. And just like Daenerys in Game of Thrones, thanks HBO, she fucking goes off the deep end too soon. I think, personally.
I don't know if I had to add.
Well, like,
love me.
I mean, the Game of Thrones thing is a discussion for another day.
Yes.
But Heartless, you see it come through, right? So she got like really competitive and kind of a sense of like real quick darkness with the croquet match.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit again, like at the Turtle Festival. Like you see like just like the little hints of it as things goes on when she got mad at Marianne, stuff like that. And then I felt like she, like her complete 180 at the end of the book, I feel like was just a little bit.
Well, what I think it showed, and I don't know if it was touching a little bit on mental health, just a teeny tiny bit. She said her mom was bipolar. Like,
that's true. Her mom would be like, "Oh, the king, you fucking virus," or whatever.
Like she'd be smiling one second, and the next second she's throwing shit through the air, and so that to me seemed very bipolar. Like, or not bipolar. That's not the right word, but where you're like,
high and low. Yeah.
And then, so I think she was going, and like you said, you could see little bits of it, and then I think the traumatic experience she had kind of just snapped it, and was just like, okay, this is how I'm gonna be now, and fuck, I don't need my art now. Y'all can have it. What's this fucking useless thing now?
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think of it that way.
So that's how I perceived it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because
it
like,
wasn't drastic to me. That
like,
just made sense.
Yeah, like I think she would have gotten there eventually, but like I said, I think, and it also could just be that it was like, oh crap, I don't know where else I'm going to go with the story. We're just going to make the switch happen, kind of thing. But I did like the heads will roll.
Yes.
And it's also one of my favorite songs by the Yeah. So, added bonus there. So who would you cast?
Okay, so me as Kath.
I mean, #Abby. Wait, before we go further, can we talk about how I hate Kath? Like,
that's the name. Like,
my middle name is Catherine, and if anybody called me Kath, I'd probably just cunt punt them right out of here.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they call it. Maybe it's like an old English nickname.
Kath?
I don't know.
Kat, Kate, Catherine, Katie, anything but Kath.
Okay, do you want me to start calling her Catherine just to fuck you?
No, that's fine. I'm just saying, like, that's what she's called in the book, but every time they said it, I, like, cringed a little bit. And I think maybe also part of it is because I'm like, this is supposed to be a goddamn romance novel, and Kath is not a sexy name. I'm sorry to anybody who's listening who goes by the name Kath, but it's not. Right? Like, I don't know. Anyway, we can continue now. I just had to get that off my chest.
To me, it's Catherine, because duh. And I couldn't think of a person last year when I read this, or 2 years ago when I read this. 2 years ago
for
Jess. Sorry, I didn't say that. And then I was rereading it this time, and I had a picture in my head, and I'm like, now of course I'm assuming that in this character it's supposed to be some super emo Jonas brother, not the cute Jonas brother, but one of the non-Peter ones.
A brooding Jonas Brother.
I was like, this is not what I want. So I'm like, I gotta imagine someone else. Who am I imagining?
You imagine Jess as emo? Interesting.
Just the whole, like, the dark hair with the thing on his eye. Like, just, and thin, but, like, unless you touched him, you didn't know that he was, like...
Skinny muscles?
Yeah. So I was like, I need something else. So then I thought of somebody, and I was like, oh, that's really good. And then the next day, I forgot who it was. And I was like, son of a bitch.
It was a famous person?
It is.
Okay.
And so I was, like, killing myself for 3 days. I was trying to think of who I casted in my head for this role. And then I finally, it randomly popped in my head. And I was like, oh, Sebastian Stan.
Yes. Bucky.
Yes, Bucky. But he was also, and then it makes sense now also, you didn't watch Once Upon a Time, but in Once Upon a Time, he played the Mad Hatter.
Fun. Okay.
And his hair was a little curly. Not curly, but like wavy.
A little bit curly.
And it fit. So that's who I picked for
Jess. Man, that's a good casting choice, Sebastian Stan.
And me. We'd look so great together.
You're not wrong.
I may go home and Photoshop that.
Which, side note, I was mad that his name was Just and he's a fucking court jester. I was like, granted, that's his, like, cover story.
Right.
But I was like, that, I felt like it was almost a cop-out. You know what I mean? I don't know. That kind of, like, annoyed me a little bit. But then again, I'm like, well, Hatter's named Hatter, Hare's named Hare, Raven's named Raven, Turtle's named Turtle, Lion's named Lion, Peter's named Peter. So, you know, what's so weird about a Just being a jester, I guess. But yeah, it's like, okay. I didn't really have anybody in, like, particular in mind for Jest, but yes, that, like, skinny muscle, like, chiseled cheekbone, brooding type with, like, you know.
But would have the cutest smile and could wink and make your panties drop instantly?
Yeah, like almost like a skinnier Jared Padalecki or something.
I was actually going to say Jared Padalecki.
But, like, skinnier.
Yes.
Like,
well, he is skinny. He's just really, really tall.
But he's, like, pretty built in, like, the shoulders. Like, more
lanky.
But
if he was wearing a coat jacket, you wouldn't be able to tell.
True. I'm thinking, I guess, of somebody more, like, he's more triangle shaped. I feel like you would just need more of somebody, like, lanky, like rectangle shape. Like a shape of a card.
So, anyways.
Okay.
Any other characters you thought of for...
Did you have anybody in mind for the king? Sweaty,
Danny DeVito,
bumbling. I feel like anytime it's somebody that's, like, a hot mess, we're just like, Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito.
Okay. Have you ever seen Hamilton?
No.
I was picturing the king in Hamilton. You kind of have to, like, listen to the audio too.
Okay.
But I was picturing, like, the embodiment of the character of the king from Hamilton as the king in Heartless. What about Peter? Can I tell you who I was thinking? And okay. It's a very specific reference.
Okay.
Do you remember in Men in Black when Edgar gets taken over by the alien and his wife is like,
oh, yes.
He was wearing, like, an Edgar suit. That's who I was picturing for Peter. Like an Edgar suit type of person.
Okay. I was picturing, have you seen The Umbrella Academy?
It's on our list.
Well, the gentleman who plays, like, the big beastly character. I can't think of his name in the show right now. My mind just went blank. But he's number 1.
What about the Hatter? First, do you think he would be older? Or, like, somebody more in line with, like, Jest and Kath?
I think he'd be a little older.
So, like, Jest and Kath are in, like, their, like, early 20s,
right.
Probably. So he would probably be in his, like, 30s. Maybe? Or are you thinking older?
I was thinking older because I was picturing me as Kath, and I'm 32. I mean, which is, like, way too old. I'm aware of this, but you remember the guy who played Oliver for the Oliver Wands in the Harry Potter movies? The first one.
Ollivander?
Yeah. What did I say, Oliver?
Oliver. I was like,
Ollivander.
Oliver Twist.
No, just don't mind me. This drink's really... Anyways, Ollivander, when he was the first movie.
I haven't seen that movie in a really long time, but sounds fine.
That's kind of who I imagined. Little kooky out there. That was one of the...
I was going to say, it has to be somebody who could pull off kooky.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like somebody like Jim Carrey would do a bang-up job.
Oh my gosh. That'd be crazy.
Right?
I didn't even think of Jim Carrey.
Like, he would just be... Because I feel like that's something that's, like, right up his alley.
Yeah.
Because he can do, like, the dark, serious, and then at the drop of a hat, pun intended, just start being, like, a Mad Hatter. I don't know.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
For Kath's mother, I envisioned Miss Trunchbull from Matilda.
That is definitely not who I imagined.
Really?
Not at all. Again, going back to Once Upon a Time, the evil queen's mom, who actually plays the Queen of Hearts in the show, Barbara Hershey. Her name was Cora. That's what it was. It just, if you look her up, she's very prim and proper.
Okay, I could
just
see it.
Very, very stern. And
like an Umbridge.
Yes.
Got it.
So that's who I'd pick for her mother. That's who I imagined.
See, is there any other characters worth... Raven you don't really see till the very end, so... you just have to have somebody with a good speaking voice. Anybody else? Let's see, we did Jest. Kath, we just default to
her
ourselves.
friend Marianne.
Marianne. I pictured Marianne as kind of a sleight of frame build, like almost waif-like and
I was imagining
like invisible. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah. Like if she, because you know, if she's in the room, she's there to serve and not have the intention on her. And then, like, you know, because her whole thing is like she's never dreamed or anything. Yeah. So I just kind of pictured somebody who was like timid and.
See, and I was imagining someone like from The Little Mermaid, the cartoon, the maid who washes Ariel.
Okay.
Like the plump, you know, bubbly, who's like, you know, let me help you out, but like a bit younger and maybe like a little thinner, but like that kind of.
Like just.
Especially since she loved eating
persona.
All of Kath's, you know, desserts and
it seemed like everybody in the kingdom did.
Yeah, but that's how they
that's
became
true.
friends.
That's
It's all friends. Over food. So I imagined someone who was a little
chubby,
curvy, chubby.
Yeah, I didn't really have like an actress in mind for Marianne. Just like a rough sketch, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. What about the three sisters?
I didn't really have anyone particularly picked out for them.
Just three really creepy girls. Or maybe one girl playing all three parts.
Oh, that would have been neat.
With just different haircuts. Or wigs, whatever. You know, so it's like identical. Like triplets.
Right.
Yeah.
Anybody you had in mind?
I honestly picture like Samara from The Ring. Like the long black hair, big dark eyes, like pale skin, and just like creep. That's kind of what I pictured. With like their creepy, high-pitched child voices and giggles and...
Any voice actors you had imagined for any of the other characters? Like the lion I imagined, what's his face? Oh my gosh. The voice is Mufasa. What is his name?
I want to say James Earl Jones.
Yes, that's it. Oh my gosh. My brain is
way to typecast him into lions.
Because he has that deep, booming voice. It just fits. But I see what you're saying. I didn't even think of that. I didn't even see the connection. Oh, God help me.
The turtle, I kind of... like the guy, who's the guy, Mort from Family Guy, who runs the pharmacy?
That is perfect.
That's what I was picturing for the turtle. The White Rabbit, like that haughty British voice, so maybe like a Michael Caine or something like that.
Ooh, that would be a good one.
Right? Just like,
I like it.
I'm snobby, upper class, highbrow, and whatever. What about, oh my gosh, what was the name of her frenemy?
Oh,
she was an entertaining character.
With
her morals. And then while we're at it, who would play what was it, Rhino? The dignitary that liked the friend.
Was he a rhino?
Was he a rhino? Or was he?
I thought he was like a
like a warthog. That's right, not a rhino. Margaret Merle and the Duke of Tuscany. That's it. And Cheshire. Okay, so who is she cast as Margaret Merle? I pictured her. Did you see The Princess and the Frog, the animated Disney movie?
Yeah.
You know,
the blonde? Yes, yeah. That's a good voice. I don't know what that lady looks like in real life.
No, but that's kind of, that whole persona is what I was.
That'd be a great father, though, is John Goodman. For Kath's father. Mm-hmm. Sorry, that went tangent, but he was a voice actor of the blonde's dad. And
so, yes, like her whole persona.
Yes.
That just like really abrasive, rubs you the wrong way, over the top.
I loved her in Princess and the Frog.
Oh, yeah. But like, just like a handful. That's kind of who I was picturing. Somebody like that. Did you have anybody in mind for Margaret Merle?
You seen probably not, Princess Diaries?
Years and years and years.
Anne Hathaway. Do you remember the Baroness who had the big nose?
Vaguely.
And so she was like not horrible looking, but she's not gorgeous either. So I imagine what she probably would have looked like 20 years ago.
Okay.
Kind of thing.
All right. Fair.
More since that movie's been out for a while, but it's just kind of what I picture. It's like someone who's okay, but nothing like, I mean, she ain't gonna be anyone's first choice kind of thing.
Unless you're the Duke of Tuscany. So who would you pick for that voice actor? I feel like it would have to be somebody with a strong voice, but the strong voice who can also sound unsure at the same time. Because the Duke of Tuscany comes off as snobbish, even though he's really just like lack of confidence.
Have you been watching Carnival Row?
Mm-mm.
The character who plays the Puck in that, he reminds me that would be a really good voice for him.
What about Cheshire Cat?
Okay, so Ray's gonna kill me because I can't think of his name. Have you noticed a theme yet? This is the game that Ray and I play. It drives him nuts. The guy who voices a lot of random things. He voiced Hey Hey in Moana. Alan Tudyk. That's his name. There we go.
Alan Tudyk? Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
He was in
he's in a lot of things.
Death at a Funeral also.
Oh, okay.
I think. So I just pulled up Stanley Tucci because I think he does great stuff too. I think Stanley Tucci would be a good. I could see him as like the Mad Hatter too.
I was gonna say I can see him as the caterpillar.
As a caterpillar, who are you?
Yeah, and just being like people coming into his cobbler shop.
Yeah, I mean he was great in The Devil Wears Prada. So
yeah. That's who I'm casting him as, the caterpillar.
The caterpillar. All right, Stanley Tucci, you're on board. Have your people contact our people. We'll get the contract signed.
Movie. I'm gonna be an actress before the end of the week.
Holler.
Actually, I'd probably be a horrible actress. They'd probably pick a lot younger people than we're picking.
That's all right. It's our fantasy. We can do what we want.
We can believe in impossible things before breakfast.
Or before dinner, in my case.
Yes.
All right. Any last thoughts on Heartless?
If it wasn't your cup of tea, I'm not sorry. Sucks to be you. No, I'm just kidding. Romance aren't for everyone.
I think that's the only romance but like some of the other books we're going to be reading have romance subplots.
Yes.
But they're not
that was
driven by romance. But let us know, guys, if you're a fan of Heartless. Our website will be going up soon.
God help me, yes.
And we're going to put our tentative reading list.
Yes. I swear I'm getting to it.
On there, so you guys can let us know your thoughts on that, along with our list of series that we're either going to be including or want to include in the future. So any feedback would be greatly appreciated. But now on to our Conscious Corner.
Woohoo! Conscious Corner.
Doo-doo. I might cut that. How tone deaf we sound.
Oh, I'm sure I sounded horrible. Anyways.
Do we want to try to sing on key? Conscious Corner? No? Okay.
I could just make it worse.
So for our Conscious Corner, this is our Valentine's Day episode. So why not talk about, or Happy Galentine's Day for all the Leslie Nopes out there.
Yep.
Let's talk about Valentine's Day gifts.
Okay.
So Mike and I usually don't do Valentine's Day gifts.
We usually do a trip.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's a gift. Like I usually book the trip and then Ray pays for everything we do on the trip.
Yeah, we do something similar when we travel usually.
Actually the shirt that I'm wearing in the drink video, the Alice in Wonderland shirt that I'm wearing, I believe 2 or 3 years ago, yes, I totally keep my clothes that long. Help me, I'm poor.
Patreon.
Was from one of our Valentine's Day trips.
Oh, nice.
To Disney. And it was Valentine's Day. I decked out the whole room in heart stuff, very Disney-esque. I made a magnet in a shape of a...
I feel like I remember you telling me about this before you went.
Yes.
I also love that you decorate the hotel room all romantic, like for your husband, when usually it's like the other way around.
Yes. So this year it's a little different because we are building the house. So we're spending a lot of time and a lot of money on the house because we are actually building it.
Right.
So his gift, I literally just bought it for our wedding anniversary. I bought us a dishwasher.
Hey, you'll use it every day.
For Valentine's Day, I bought a microwave, the bathroom accessories. He bought me tile to go in our master bath.
I mean, that just screams orgasm right there. Tile. And
he also is getting the refrigerator and stove.
Is it Sub-Zero? Mike and I usually don't do any like gifts. We'll get each other like a card. He'll usually get me flowers, but I'm like, don't spend money on like jewelry. Like I don't need a heart necklace. I already have like 6 things. Don't get me like a charm bracelet or anything because I'm not a big jewelry wearer. And we usually go on like one big international trip a year, and we usually do like small little trips throughout the year. But it's like we typically don't go anywhere Valentine's Day because it's usually
a madhouse in any restaurant.
Right.
Jeez. Oh yeah, that was the other reason why we didn't celebrate Valentine's Day for the longest time because I worked in a restaurant when we first met, and I had to work every and Valentine's
it's a fucking
Day.
Disaster. Yeah. We actually typically Valentine's Day weekend usually coincides with one of the theme weekends that we like for the Florida Renaissance Fair, which is usually either Vikings weekend or Steampunk weekend.
Okay.
So for the past like 4 years, because I don't think we went the first year we started dating. Maybe. I don't know. We've spent Valentine's Day weekend probably at the Renaissance Festival.
Well, that's a nice little tradition.
And that's what we do. But long story short, listeners,
I think make it unique and make it
fit you. And science says, ding, 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 experiences are better than material things. They say it's better to spend your money on experiences and trips and adventures than on material things, unless you're buying a house and you need an actual refrigerator.
Yeah, that's kind of important.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and women don't skimp out. Like, don't expect like, oh, you didn't give me flowers and chocolate. What the fuck did you get him?
My presence is presence enough.
Oh my god! Don't expect shit unless you're giving out shit. That's all I have to say.
Put out? Is that what you're saying? Is that
yes?
Is that the bottom line of Conscious Corner?
Yes, literally.
On both sides, though, man and woman, no matter your partner.
Yes.
Put out. Everybody likes the easy lay every once in a while, I guess. But use protection. Be safe.
Yes. And if you're single, feel free to go and buy yourself something special.
Yeah. Self-appreciation. And if you
It's
have a
still
great
love.
group of friends, Galentine's Day.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I'm
I
all
say
about
get together and throw a horror movie on.
that. I mean, mine and Mike's favorite Christmas movie is Krampus, so you're not far off.
Was not topic. As nothing I ever say is on topic. So.
But it makes editing the episodes so fun, and
it's you're like, bitch, I hate you.
And it's I'm sure an added bonus to our Patreons who get access to the uncut episodes.
Oh.
Yeah. If you want to get in contact with us, you can find us on social media.
Yes, please get in touch that way because most of the time I screen my calls.
Yeah, we are on Facebook,
Instagram
and Twitter, Literary Lushes. We also have Literary Lushes podcast at gmail.com.
Plenty of ways to reach out to us.
Yeah, and if you guys enjoy listening to us bumble like assholes about books and drinks and whatnot, please rate us.
Don't hate us.
Don't hate us. We're on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, Google Play, iHeartRadio, YouTube.
Don't be afraid to put a 4-star instead of 5.
I mean, even if you absolutely hate us, you could still rate us. It'll help us get better.
This is true.
So, please let us know. We want to do another thank you to our patrons. We love you guys.
Angela, Ray, Mike, Julie, and Linda.
Thank you.
You're the best.
If you guys are interested in supporting us, you can find us on Patreon and get some cool stuff like t-shirts, glasses. We also have a merch page, which is currently on Zazzle.
Yes.
And you can get all sorts of cool stuff from there.
Yeah.
And yeah, that'll about do it. Our next episode is going to go up on February 20th, 2020. What a fun date that is.
Yes. And our next book is Good Omens
by Neil Gaiman.
So that actually, I feel like that works with him. And, I don't know. It just seems like.
It's a good omen?
Yes. To have it on 2202020.
You mean, yeah, yes. Sorry, there was a lot of numbers you just threw at me. Yeah. Oh my. Who are you? Well, on that note,
happy Valentine's Day.
Stay safe, everybody. And, it's just another day of the year, really. That's how I've always looked at it. But anyway, as we like to say, stay lively with your libations.